All right, this is Commissioner Russell Silver reporting after the first week of the NBA season. I thought I would give a little recap to the first week as well as go over a few housekeeping items for the league. Um, First thing I wanted to touch on is rule changes. If you guys don't like any rules for this league, you know, come up with a better one, and then or come up with any changes you'd like to see, and then for next year we would we can put it all to a vote. One thing, yeah. So if you guys don't agree with, say, the waiver wire fees or whatever the case may be, or you'd like to see something changed, yeah, we're always open to votes, and I'll put it up, I'll make it up to the league. Another thing is, like, please, 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 I beg, remain active during the course of the season. Doesn't matter if you're in first place or 11th place. Please, like, always check your lineups. I get it. This is kind of a long investment, but to the best of your ability, always try to have an active lineup. Tanking is allowed, in order to get a better draft pick for next year, but the only condition is that your three best players have to be in your lineup. You can't just like bench all your guys. Also, if you have guys that are injured, long term, and they're still sitting in your starting lineup, clearly that's a problem as well. And so, do your best to do that. There will be punishments or fines or whatever if you're not starting your best lineups, just because it does affect the outcome. For the people at the top that are that are trying to battle it out for the prize pool. So we do need all managers to stay active in that sense. So another thing too about the rosters is that ESPN is fucked. They're not showing the game totals, which is like very important. And so, each position here, you get assigned 82 games per position. 82 at point guard, 82 at shooting guard, 82, at each of them. And it's not showing us, like what our totals are. But for example, because we're so early in the season, these stats are not clearly accurate because certain teams have played more games than others. And so, if you have 76ers, they've gotten a lot more stats than, say, like someone on the Lakers. Because I think there's they played like 5 games to the Lakers 3 or something like that at this point. And so, you don't want to be starting your scrubs just to get some quick stats, and because you're going to be kicking yourself when, we're a month out from the end of the season and then you run out of eligibility at a certain position and, those stats don't count. So please kind of be cognizant of that. And so, I'll make examples, as we go moving forward of how, like, why this is important. But unless someone knows where this is on ESPN, because I'm used to Yahoo, and so one of the rule changes that I'm actually going to propose is that we migrate this league over to Yahoo for next year. Keepers and everything will still remain, but just the platform, I'm going to propose that we move this over to Yahoo because I can't stand this. Still have trouble, as you'll see over the course of this video, I have trouble navigating my way through ESPN. I think Yahoo is much better. But anyways, so I thought, so that's another thing. Another thing to keep in mind is that I did touch on it. We don't know which teams are really good yet because it's only 1 week in, and there's going to be a lot of fluctuation for the first month, maybe even 2 months, possibly longer than that, until we get a grip on things. And so, I'm just going to go over the league, and, we'll start with the standings here. And, wow, this internet's slow. And I'll just give my analysis on each team and kind of give my thoughts on it, and I'd love to hear the thoughts of the rest of the league as well. So let's start off with JT light years ahead. Jimmy's team is looking pretty good, sitting in first place with 88 points. He's in first place in free throws made, free throw percentage, assists and steals, in second place in three-pointers made, field goals made. So I guess his weak spots are turnovers, blocks, and field goal percentage. And even in field goal percentage, he's in the top 50% of the league. Okay, so that's wild. Okay, so let's take a deeper dive here. Does it tell me? So yeah, here's where you can see the games played. So, right here, if you're looking at my mouse, so Jimmy has 39 games played. DL has 41. Let's see, I have 32. SH has the least, I believe, with 30. DK has 44 games played. So that's what I mean. Like, that's why, it's not an even, like, it's not, so just keep in mind, point being, just keep the games totals on your mind. I'm sure, ESPN will make improvements as the year goes on, so let's hope we see that. Another thing, JT's been pretty active on the waiver wire. He's, each waiver wire pickup costs a couple bucks, but, with his team sitting where it is, it'll pay for itself. I'm seeing only a few people are active on the waiver wire, but anyways, so it's still super close. There's going to be a lot of fluctuation. Obviously, it's the first week. But yeah, let's take a closer look at Jimmy's team. It is criminal how slow this internet is. Okay. So we got Jeff Teague starting. It's midnight, so it's for tomorrow's lineups. But let's go and see yesterday's or today's or whatever. So he's got Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday has been pretty good. Let's look at the game logs. Today, not so good. Only shot 133 from the field, but overall, I believe Jimmy took him with his, second or third pick, which I thought was pretty high. But he's currently ranked 23 at his position. Let's see. Let's look at the game logs here. 10 points, 8 assists, and opening night. And, for a second or third round pick, that's not very good. 38 minutes, 27 minutes, 15 and 10 assists, 8. Yeah, I mean, so, not really doing, not really getting, so let's see, second. So Jimmy took him in the second round, so he's not really getting second round value so far. But, Drew Holiday's good, so I'm sure it'll even out. Gary Harris, 8 field goals made, 8 out of 12. Not bad. 1 turnover, that's pretty solid. Blake Griffin had himself a night. 20 for 35, that's fucking insane. 5 for 11 free throws hurts you, but, you'll take it when the guy's scoring fucking 50 points, 5 threes, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover. Whew! Anthony Davis doing Anthony Davis things. 11 for 21, 11 field goals made, shooting above 500, 10 for 15 free throws. That's not a great percentage, but that's a high volume of free throw attempts, which is good. 2 threes, 13 rebounds. Oh my god, 5 blocks. That is, oh me, oh my. No turnovers. That's wild. Boban, 1 minute. No stats, 1 turnover. And so this is what I mean. Like, you don't want to be playing Boban, and he just ate up a game for Jimmy, right? Like, Boban has no business being in a starting lineup right now. And so be cognizant of that. You don't want to just waste a roster spot like that. I'm sure, Jimmy didn't anticipate him, turning in no stats except for 1 turnover, playing 1 minute. But you don't want to just throw guys in for the sake of throwing guys in, because there is a cap on the position. So be cognizant of that. Kevin Love has been doing pretty good this season. I know it's been pretty split. Some people think Kevin Love is going to have a good season. Some people, are worried about his health. I think a lot of Kevin Love's injuries are kind of fluky. So I think a lot of the, health questions are a little overblown. But let's take a look. 21 points from the season opener, 25 points, 19 rebounds, 16 points, 17 rebounds. It's not showing the field goal percentage, but I know that's been where Kevin Love has been hurting Jimmy. Um, but, you know, pretty good production so far. Yeah, I mean, I really do like this team for this season. I think it's pretty solid. No glaring weaknesses. I did touch on this in the draft video, but Jimmy, I'm curious as to what he does regarding keepers moving forward. Anthony Davis is clearly one of the best, one of the two best keepers you can have, current day. I would say between him and Giannis. Moving forward, Anthony Davis is still pretty young. I don't even think he's entered his prime yet. And so that's clearly, one of his keepers, but he has to make some decisions for his other two keepers. So what I'm curious about is, this team is good enough to win. Who know? I'm sure his rank. I'm sure he'll lose some points moving forward. But it remains to be. He's clearly a contender for first place. I don't. He may stay. He may go wire to wire. We don't know. But this seems pretty solid. But I anticipate. If I had to guess, that Jimmy would make a trade, because Kevin Love could be. It depends, right? It depends how his season is, but he could be a potential keeper. And then after that, there's a significant drop off. I don't know. Do you keep Blake Griffin? I wouldn't want to. Drew Holiday, I wouldn't want to. Gary Harris, maybe. I don't know. So I am curious as to the long-term health of the team. But for this season, we play fantasy to make money, and so he could. He's definitely in the running. I don't know if he's the favorite, but he's definitely in the running for this season. But that's my biggest question: is does he make a move this season, or does he just wait, try to win and then worry about his future later? But again, he does have Anthony Davis, so it's not really like he's in dire need to figure that out, because he, does have one very, very good building piece for the future. And I also imagine, I haven't been watching too much of the Clippers, but, I've been hearing that, Shea is probably going to be a rising star worthy candidate at the end of the season. So, anyways. Yeah, good. Cool. Jimmy's team is good. Let's see. The second place team is DL Dunkin' Donuts. Currently sitting with 72 points. That's wild. That's the drop off between first and second place. Field goals made. DL's leading the pack. Second place in free throws made. Second place in rebounds. Second place in blocks. Clearly he needs help in the turnovers department. Steals. But clearly he's doing all right. So let's take a deeper dive here. And so, DL Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, yeah. Ben Simmons was out, so JJ Redick had himself a night. DeMar DeRozan had a sick game against the Lakers last night. That was one of the more entertaining games I'd seen in a long time, especially from the Lakers. That hurts. Gortat, 0 for 4. No free throws, no threes, obviously. 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Ish, that's grim. So DL's team had some really baller picks, like Caris LeVert. That's a super good pick. Oladipo hasn't been the Oladipo of last year so far. It's only been 1 week, but I imagine he'll get better. But he just lost Chris Dunn for 4 to 6 weeks. That's gonna hurt. And Will Barton's out for, I think, or he's gonna be reevaluated in 6 weeks. And so those are 2 injuries that he needs to address because I'm not, and JJ Redick had a sick game, but that's because Ben Simmons is out. And so I don't think we can anticipate, 9 field goals made with 6 threes from JJ Redick every night. And so, let's see, what other guards does he have? I'm just really curious to see what DL does in the face of adversity, because he's got to make, some moves, whether that be on the waiver wire, but he's got to plug in some holes, because he just lost 2 roster spots. And in this league, we don't have an injury spot. So is he going to hold on to Chris Dunn or Will Barton? Does he, just monitor the waiver wire? Kind of hoping to get someone to fill out those spots. Gortat, I don't think is a good. I mean, he's just playing tonight, but he's got Cat. Let's just hope Jimmy Butler gets out of town sooner rather than later. Capella is a solid center, so I mean it's not dire. I do think that in the short term his team will take a little bit of a dip in ranking, but yeah, I'm mostly just curious to see how he reacts to these early injuries, because they appear to be they're not super long term, but they're significant. So very curious to see what happens here and how DL handles that. Next, so moving on to third place. We got Team Lapid, and Team Lapid leading the pack in blocks. Steals is doing pretty well. Free throws made doing pretty well. And kind of middle of the pack everywhere else. 68.5 points. Let's explore. James Harden, sick. Jimmy Butler. I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there in Minnesota. Let's check out the game log for Jimmy Butler. So, last 3 games, 20 against San Antonio, 32 minutes, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. Cleveland, fucking 33 points, 4 steals, sick, 7 rebounds. Then against Indiana, 20 points. More pedestrian secondary stats, but this was Kevin's 3rd round pick. Sick. It's really interesting to see how this situation plays out. Just as a basketball fan, I want to know where he goes. I would personally like to see him go to Houston, just because I want someone to challenge the Warriors and make it a little bit interesting in the West. But that would severely hurt Jimmy's fantasy value. Jarrett Allen was a sick pick. 4 blocks. Oh my gosh, that's wild. Double in first 2 games with 4 blocks each. Oh my god, I'm frothing at the mouth. That's great. So really kudos to Kevin for that pick. That was a good one. Chetty Osman. I've been watching some Cavs games just to see how Kevin Love's been doing, but Chetty Osman can stroke. 17 and 10 in his first game of the season, 22 points, 8 assists. Second game, played 39 minutes against the Hawks to only 12 points. But yeah, I mean that's a pretty solid pick. And I'm pretty sure that was one of the last rounds that he picked him up too. So that's good. I don't really know what to think about this team yet. He's got some solid pieces. He's got kind of elite keepers in James Harden and Butler. Curious to see. I mean, Jarrett Allen maybe. I mean, those block numbers will come up big. He's clearly leading the league in blocks, so that obviously is a testament. I mean, Jarrett Allen plays a big part of that. I think his team long term looks good. The health of but yeah, let's just see, how he fares. I don't know exactly where this team should be, during the course of the season. So I'm really interested to find out. But in the immediate term, I think he should, just hold tight. I think it's a solid team up and down. No glaring weaknesses that I can identify, at least. So let's see. Next, we have CHLA Bake Show sitting in 4th place with 65 points, leading the league in rebounds, 2nd place in assists. Field goals made, pretty strong, okay. Free throw percentage is hurting. Turnovers, he's the worst. So let's look at yesterday or today. So I didn't have much going on. Danilo Gallinari was his only player tonight. 8 for 15, nice. 7 for 7 from the line, nice. Not too many other stats, but 6 rebounds, no turnovers, that's sick. Devin Booker was a guru pick. I think he got him in the 3rd round. Let's see. Yep, 24th overall, 3rd round pick, sick. 35 points opening night. Whew. 7 assists. Wow. 6 3-pointers. Jesus. 25 and 7 assists. Sick. Against the Warriors, 28 points, 6 assists. Damn. Okay. So yeah, so this is clearly a baller pick. This is, I mean, I would have, Devin Booker is clearly keeper worthy. I believe he's only 22. Giannis, I would guess, would be the 5-year keeper on this team. Devin Booker, I think, has a pretty clear case for being the 3-year keeper. Kyrie, yeah, the Jekyll and Hyde so far of this season. 7 points on opening night. It doesn't show the field goal percentage, but I'm pretty sure it was not good. Then bounced back with 21, 16 the next night. That's okay. Not too many other stats. And 5 assists is nice. 22 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. That's a much better game against Orlando. So he's trending up. Obviously he had nowhere to go but up after the first game. But, this was Casey's second pick. Is Kyrie worthy of a second pick? Too early to tell, but that team, the Celtics team, is weird. It's kind of like the Spurs, or I guess the Spurs of old. Do you really want Celtics on your fantasy team because they are actually a team and the stats are pretty well evenly balanced out? Whoever picked up Tatum, we'll discover who picked him up later in this video, but that was a sick pick. He's been great. But yeah, so I'm interested. Do people try to buy low on Kyrie? Is CH willing to listen to offers? I don't know. Sources say, sources say that the commissioner is hearing whispers that CH might be open to trading Kyrie. I can definitely think of a few teams off the top of my head that could benefit from his services. But yeah, I think Casey's got a decision to make. Not necessarily today. It's the first week. Kyrie could go off, but I just like to stir the pot a little bit. Maybe they'll trade him. All right. Next, we got AV Sack Kings. I owe this man an apology. I mean, it's only the first week, but we'll see. But I had this team pegged as being, last place from beginning to end. But he's currently sitting above me at 5th place. 61 points. He's got Kemba Walker, amazing, stud right there. Buddy Hield. I have to admit, I don't watch too many Kings games. And this is why. He shot 2 for 7, 286, 5 rebounds, whatever. DeAndre Jordan's been killing so far. Enes Kanter killing. Kyle Lowry killing. Shooting the ball a little bit more, I noticed, too. Harrison Barnes and Dwight Howard in your starting lineup's a little concerning to me. I know that AV's been pretty active on the waiver wire. Westbrook just came back, so I imagine that his team might actually, make more of a jump upwards and onwards. Josh Hart looking to be a pretty good pick. So this team's not as bad as I thought it was. I gave him an F in the draft, but, he's been pretty active on the waiver wire, like I said. Very curious to see where this team ends up for the duration of the season. But AV, please accept my apology. I was wrong about your draft and your team. Let's see. Moving on. Yours truly. Oh, how am I doing? Let's see. I'm at 60 points. I'm doing all right with the threes. Doing all right with the steals. Doing okay with the blocks. Okay with the turnovers. Rebounds, I'm hurting. Assists, I'm hurting. Field goals made, I'm very much hurting. Percentage is okay. Both of my percentages are all right. Okay, let's see. Okay, Rubio. How has this man been playing for me? So ever since Rubio donned a Monstars jersey, 13 points, 10 assists. Okay. I mean, that's why you get Rubio, right? You want the assists and the steals. No steals that night, but you got the assists. 33 minutes. This is not helping. 1 point. You got a steal. 22 minutes. Eesh. 6 points. 5. Yeah, it's looking grim. Yeah, that's gotta improve. I won't call him a dud just quite yet, but Otto Porter Jr. This guy's a fantasy gem. Really happy about this. Nikola Mirotic, that's a guru pick by me if I say so myself. Extremely happy with Jokic at number 8 spot. I'm ecstatic. I'm through the roof. I love that pick. Jokic is still young. This guy is for sure the franchise is in his hands. Let's see, he had that triple-double where he shot perfect from the field. I think it was like 11 for 11. I think the only blemish there was that he went like 10 for 11 from the free throw line or something like that. But look at these fucking numbers. 21, 8 and 5, first game. 35, 11 and 12. Woo! Against Phoenix. Against Golden State, he had 23 and 11. I'll take that any day of the week. 6 assists from a big. This is a bad man. Very happy. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. Gobert, doing Gobert things. This guy fucking sucks. I hate this guy. I don't know why I drafted him. D'Angelo Russell. 8 points opening night. Fuck you. 25 minutes. 15. I mean, yeah. I'm not happy about that. Don't know what I'm looking pretty slim at the guards. Paul George, this guy, I'm actually happy that Westbrook is back because the first couple games, this guy was just chucking up every shot, just ruining my field goal percentage. And, he's still doing well. He got 27 points. 20 points and 29 points. He's getting what's his name? Paul George is elite in steals, but yeah, I mean, with Westbrook back, hopefully he'll have a little bit of a better shot selection, and I'm hoping that the field goal percentages improve, but can't complain with those with that output. Luka Doncic, I'm investing a lot in him. He's been pretty good so far. Will he be a superstar in this league? Remains to be seen, but he's still super young. I'm definitely slotting him in as a keeper. Actually hoping, I want to win this year, but I'm hoping that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he finished outside the top 100, so that he could have Rising Star eligibility. And so one thing I also noticed, because I'm so unfamiliar with ESPN, we might have to just go off of the Yahoo rankings. Especially if we do migrate, we'll go off the Yahoo rankings for, Rising Star eligibility for next year. But that's something I can talk to the league about later on. So let's check out Doncic. 10 points, 8 rebounds. Then he had a night with 26 and 6, and then 6 assists. Yeah, I mean, he's a rookie, so I'm happy. I'll take it. Robert Covington with Simmons out. Let's see how he did. I haven't checked the stats yet. So 6 for 11. Nice. 1 for 2. 3 threes. Love it. 8 rebounds. Steal. Okay, cool. Jokic tonight. 6 for 11. 12. Okay. Mirotic. 389. 12 rebounds. Okay. Jordan Bell, what a fucking dud. This guy doesn't play any minutes. What I thought he had a pretty good rookie year. I thought he'd get the minutes and while Boogie was out, but 7 minutes, 0 minutes, 3 minutes, 9 minutes, 2 points between 4 games. Oh, that is rough. That's grim. So I'm gonna drop this fucking fool stat. I can't deal with this. I thought I made a real sneaky guru pick, taking the Antetokounmpo brother, hoping that he might show, but I don't even think he's gotten 1 minute of playing time so far. And I am correct. Yeah, not 1 minute. So Porzingis, might be a complete game changer for this team if he can come back, in a reasonable time frame and kind of contribute for the season. Malcolm Brogdon's been pretty good, pretty solid. Not good, but solid. I picked up Malik Monk on the waiver wire because he had a strong first game, but hasn't. I don't really anticipate playing him too much there. I'm content with my team so far. I want to give it more time. I don't know. I feel okay about my team. I really want to compete this year. Serge Ibaka's been all right. But I definitely need to make some waiver wire moves. I need to get Kostas Antetokounmpo off of my roster immediately, and then I'm probably gonna drop Jordan Bell. I gotta hope I find some good stuff on the waiver wires. Otherwise, I'm gonna be looking to make a trade. So that's where the Monstars are sitting right now. DK Don Pool Lake Show in 7th place with 59 points. So I owe Don an apology as well. I also owe an apology to, pains me to say it, Trae Young. That fool had 35 points on, I believe, above 500 shooting. Let's see. He had 35 points. It doesn't show the percentages. 11 assists that game as a rookie in his 3rd NBA game. That's so wild. 38 minutes. 6 3-pointers. Okay, yeah. So, that's one game. But he had 20 the game before. So, I mean, this guy's scoring the ball, distributing the ball. Fuck. Yeah, so damn it. Maybe he's not a fraud. It's still early, but maybe he's not a fraud. I saw that Don picked up Collison after I dropped him. KD, sick. Draymond's going to get you some stats. How's Miles Turner been doing? A lot of people were hoping this would be a breakout season for him. 8 points and 8 rebounds, 11 and 4, 14, 8, sitting in, the 26, 27 minute range there. Got opening night, had 4 blocks, but at least he's getting blocks. So long term, this team's gonna, this team is clearly gonna make a trade. Because you got Chris Paul suspended, but it doesn't matter because you got Trae Young, dropping 35 and 11. Carmelo, get that guy off your roster. But the reason I say this guy's going to make a trade is because he has Trae Young on his team, Mo Bamba, and Marvin Bagley. He can't keep all 3 of them. All 3 of them are talented. I do see at least one of them being Rising Star eligible, probably Mo Bamba. Bagley potentially Rising Star eligible. Jaylen Brown is trash, and I don't think he's a trash player. It's just that he's playing on a team with many mouths to feed. Let's see, 12 points, 13 points. Wow, in 1 week the fucking Celtics already played 4 games, 5, 7, and 5. That's not acceptable. That's not quality production, especially with the limited amount of games played. So, I see this team making a trade. I don't know if soon, but this team will make a trade. I guarantee it, before season's out. Because, let's see. So, if I'm DK, I'm keeping Kevin Durant, probably at the 5-year spot. Trae Young, or maybe Trae Young at the 5-year spot, who knows. Chris Paul, do you really want to keep aging Chris Paul? He's been playing pretty well so far, right? Let's see. 19, okay, not a great first game, but they got blasted that game. But 28 and 10 against his former team, or no, that was against the Lakers, and then suspended. Okay, so yeah, small sample size. But I mean, still solid numbers nonetheless. But this team will make a move. I'm just so certain. This team doesn't have what it takes to win this year, I don't think. But this, I'm curious to see what trades are made. But for long term, they got young talent there. Plenty of trades that can be made. So maybe that's a separate video where I can go through the trade machine and kind of see what kind of trades I can come up with for these teams. But interesting team though. I'm very curious to see how DK manages his team and what kind of decisions he makes. I don't think they're in a contender to win, but I'm very curious as to just what we can mold out of this team, in the near and long terms. SH Optimus Dime sitting 8th place, 55.5 points. Field goal percentage is strong. Turnovers are strong. Let's investigate. Lillard, sick. Beal, sick. Tatum, sick. Kuzma, sick. Joel Embiid, sick. Steven Adams, solid, I guess. Let's see. Oh, okay. Double-doubles in all games. 3 blocks in the last one. Good minutes. Okay, that's pretty solid. De'Aaron Fox, I think he's been pretty good. 21, yeah. Yeah. That one's not so good, but damn, okay. He's not even, yeah, okay. Ariza, yeah, I wouldn't be starting him. Clarkson, how's Clarkson been doing? Well, either way, it started off very good. And you can't have a team of all studs, but he has Ingram that's suspended, Cousins on the sidelines. Woo! Have you been playing JaVale McGee? JaVale McGee's been pretty good. His first 3 games, 22 minutes, 13. Those block numbers are elite. Right there, 5 blocks against Houston in 20 minutes. Frothing. 16 points. Can you ask for better from JaVale McGee? That's pretty damn good shit. Markelle Fultz, let's see how he did earlier tonight. 6 for 9. 6 rebounds, 1 3. Okay, that's not bad. Not good, it's not bad. Yeah, those guards are sick. And then Tatum and Kuzma. I expect this team will probably rise in the rankings. Ingram, I think, got the longest suspension from that Lakers fight. For a guy that is such a Laker hater, he has a lot of Lakers on the team. Or he has Ingram and Kuzma, a lot of former Lakers, Clarkson, Ariza. Anyways, JaVale. Yeah, it's a solid team. I imagine in the short term, they will rise a lot in the rankings. Curious to see, how this team pans out. I think there's a couple of roster changes he can make to strengthen or get more depth, but I think it's a pretty good team. Still early, so I want to see how Markelle Fultz, kind of does over the course of the season, and that could be huge. And then, when Boogie comes back, this team could be pretty scary if Cousins has any sort of production. So yeah, let's stay tuned. Yeah, and I don't think 8th place is an accurate estimate for where this team will end up. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Team Bowman. Steph Curry. Levine's been pretty good. I think he'll be even better with Dunn out for extended time. Middleton's solid. Drummond. Tonight Drummond had an abysmal. 6 for 20 for Drummond is simply unacceptable. 16 rebounds though, 2 blocks, 5 turnovers isn't pretty, but not a good game. I heard he was sick, so we'll give him a pass. DeAndre Ayton. 20 and 14 against Golden State. A potential keeper on your hands there. I don't think he'll qualify for Rising Star, but we'll see. 18 and 10, his opening game. Not bad. 4th round pick, too. Okay. Yeah, so, that's a bright light on this team. I think Lonzo has been doing pretty well. I thought he played pretty well in the game against the Spurs. 14 and 6 and 6, 3 3-pointers. I don't know if Lonzo's keeper worthy, but could be. Tim Hardaway is going to get you a lot of points. I don't know what to think about his percentages because he's going to chuck up the ball a lot because no one on that team can score. except for him and Cantor. But I don't think Cantor is scoring that much. I know he's getting double doubles, but I don't think he's getting like 20 plus points. Tim Hardaway has been nuts. 31 points, 29 points, 24, 24. We're not seeing the field goal percentages, but those are some pretty sick outputs right there. 3 threes, 5 threes, 3 threes, lots of minutes. So good snag on that one. Josh Jackson, ooh, this guy needs more minutes. 28, 23, 19. Yeah, I like Josh Jackson as a player, but it's criminal. This guy needs more minutes. So we'll see what the outlook is. John Collins is out. That hurts. Sabonis needs more minutes. Yeah, this team needs to really improve the depth. There are some building blocks here. Obviously, you got Steph Curry, and then who you keep after that. There are a lot of decisions to be made here. A lot. If Bowman, I mean, it's the first week, so I don't want to talk about fire sales. But if over the course of the season, he decides he wants to tank it this year and build around Steph Curry and kind of just acquire picks, I could see this team being, if he were to go down that route, I could see him setting himself because he has a lot of good pieces here. The depth is what I'm worried about. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm very curious to see how he manages this team, but solid guards for sure, and then solid centers as well, and then he's got Lonzo there. So and so let's see what happens when Collins comes back, and then will they give Sabonis more minutes? Maybe hit up the waiver wire, drop Allen. I mean, yeah, there's definitely some moves to be made, like in terms of maybe the waiver wire, but I'm very curious about this team. But he should be very happy to have DeAndre Ayton as a potential as a keeper, and Steph Curry obviously. And so, anyways, I think that team will improve over the course of the season too. I don't think he'll end at 9th. Let's see. Zombie apocalypse. Michael Williams. Ben Simmons, that hurts. But this guy deserves, Mike deserves some props for his first 2 picks of the draft. Kawhi and Ben Simmons. I mean, Ben Simmons was looking like the point guard the first couple games. Then he missed 2 games, I believe. So he left after 8 minutes last game. Then he sat out tonight. I don't think it's serious. But those are good picks. Kawhi's been sick. CJ McCollum, we'll see what happens. It's still early. Randall needs more minutes, but he's sick. I don't know if he's played at all next to Anthony Davis so far, but 25 points and 8 rebounds in 24 minutes. 13 and 14 against Sac in 24 minutes. 18. Yeah, this one wasn't that good, but still, I mean, give this man some more minutes, and look at that. They can per minute, like that's sick. Wiggins trash. Schroeder. I don't know what Schroeder's outlook is. I think playing next to Westbrook or under him will benefit him, at least in the long term. I honestly think that's a little bit of what helped Oladipo become what he was last season, was the experience of playing with Westbrook, and I also think it's just a better situation in Indiana for him. But very curious to see how Schroeder does for the rest of the season. Cauley-Stein's been pretty good. Marc Gasol, I wasn't crazy about that pick. Still not crazy about it. Alfred Payton, I think, is in a much better situation with the Pelicans. Yeah, I think he opened the season with a triple-double. Let's see. 10, 10, and 10. First game against Houston. Not bad. 11, 6, and 6. Not bad. 26 and 6. Pretty good. 36 minutes there, 24 minutes there. And so, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good pick. At least so far. I don't think Dennis Smith Jr. has been very good now that Doncic is in town. Although I don't know what the percentages are. Well, these aren't terrible numbers, but you'd expect him to take a little bit of a jump on his second season in the NBA. But could be worse. Jeremy Lin, Damian Jones. Yeah, so this team, I think, lacks depth. Again, I want to give all the kudos in the world for those first two picks. I was very jealous of those first two picks, Kawhi and Ben Simmons. I think Kawhi will reach I don't know what he was at his best, but he was like a top 3 to 5 player in fantasy, elite in steals. So there's definitely pieces here. But yeah, definitely needs to work on the depth, maybe make a few trades. But, he's getting good production from, some certain players. But I don't know. Yeah, so I'm curious to see, again, Damian Jones seems to be getting a lot of the minutes that I thought were going to go to Jordan Bell. Jeremy Lin, I don't know. Dwight Powell, I don't know. TJ Warren had himself a good game recently, I believe. Yeah, 27 points, 3 3-pointers. So he's serviceable. Yeah, maybe a trade or two could help this team out, and then just kind of surfing the waiver wire, making some good picks. But I do like this team. I don't know what the forecast is for this season, but this team, I like the building blocks here. And then last and least, LB WizKids. This team is in trouble. Even this early, I think this team is in trouble. He's at 32 games, which is on the lower side, but, let's see here. He's got John Wall and he's got LeBron. I wonder what LeBron's stats will look like for the course of this season. He's got good players, but I think the weakness on this team is rebounds, because you're not getting many minutes. By Whiteside, I heard that he's already injured. He got 34 minutes the first game, 29, 25. You want to see more than that. These numbers are sick. In terms of rebounds, the blocks, he's getting blocks, that's good. Valanciunas. Okay. Not bad. Not a lot of minutes. Okay. Lou Williams, I think, has been I don't think it is realistic to expect the same season as last year for Lou Williams. But he should have all the opportunity in the world, because that team doesn't have a bona fide scorer. But these minute totals are pretty low. He's getting points, but not much else going on here. No blocks at all, no steal. His season could get better. I'm sure there's going to be injuries, and but I'm sure that's not the start to the season that you were hoping for with Lou Williams. Donovan Mitchell's sick, but let's see how he's been doing. Oh, okay. 19, 24, 14. Not a lot of rebounds. Not of 3 is pretty good. Steal's pretty good. Gordon Hayward. I'm just genuinely curious about this team, because with a team with John Wall and LeBron, you would think would be doing better than last place, and dead last, pretty low. Yeah, this isn't great. The the minutes aren't high, and he's just coming back from a serious injury, so that's probably gonna get better. But there's a lot of mouths to feed in Boston, and so I almost wonder if you make a trade now, look to make a trade now, because in the near term, I don't see this team getting much better. Because LeBron, let's see, only 3 games. But, these are pretty standard LeBron numbers, right? 26, the points are there. The rebound, 14 assists last game, 12 rebounds in the first game. The minutes are there. I think the jumper will get better as the season goes on. Yeah. So, people will pay top dollar for LeBron James. So he'll be able to, balance out his team if he does trade LeBron. This center situation needs to change for sure. How is he doing in rebounds? Let's see. Because I harped on his rebounds in my draft video. And he's second to last in rebounds, but he's last in field goals made, last in 3-pointers made, last in assists. And he has John Wall, too. So, fuck. And LeBron. Like, what the fuck? So, he needs to balance the books a little bit. So, this one's tough. And this is legitimately what is the most. This is the most interesting problem. And, like, of all the players in the league, I think LB WizKids has the most interesting problem because he has 2 elite players. And then he just lost Kevin Knox for at least a few games. I don't know how serious it is. But he's a rookie, so you don't really have much invested in him anyways. Jabari Parker. So, I mean, DK has a lot of assets. So does LB make a trade with DK? I don't want to say no, because I don't, I don't want, but I mean, that would make sense. And there's other guys with assets too. But it's early. It's only 1 week, so this is clearly, it might be an overreaction. Could very well be an overreaction. So give it some time. But I think this team may need to make a trade sooner rather than later. Yeah, we'll see. All in all, been an interesting first week. I love the NBA, so I'm happy it's back. So that about does it for the weekly recap. I won't do this every week. But just because, the NBA is back and we're all excited and invested in the league right now, thought it'd be a fun thing to take a look at. Hope you guys enjoy it and give me some feedback. All right, see ya.